So you want to really think of like how do you build the organization and not just do all of that organically. So as you start building up the org, you should think of like what do you want to build, what kind of a company you want to have. You probably have a good idea of what that is when you set out to build a company, but you should write that down and write down the values you have, write down the culture you're expecting to build. Because there's lots and lots of different people out there. So you need to be clear about what you're doing and who you are. So there's fewer unpleasant surprises when expectations later on are not met. And this is something that we did pretty early on, but I don't think we did early enough. And another position that I didn't really realize we need early on was a head of people role. We added this role sometime after our A round when we were a team of 30 something. But I would say that it can be really the most impactful early leadership position you can have in a company. Most likely your founding team is engineers or marketers, and you have a good idea hopefully of what kind of people you want to bring into the company, but it's a lot of work to integrate those people, find those people, and get everything right, and get somebody to actually work full time on defining what you want to be, who you are, and making sure that you're taking everybody who joined the company with you on the journey, and not kind of throwing them under the bus when the organization changes from underneath them in ways that they couldn't expect and couldn't anticipate. So definitely, head of people is one that I would recommend you go for early on.
Did you use some kind of an advisor or even a headhunter for recruitment before you hired this HR head of people?
I think I've like in recruiting, I talk about in-house recruiters making a huge difference. I think recruiting is one of the biggest responsibilities and biggest jobs of every leader and every founder on the team. A lot of your time should be going into recruiting at all stages of the company. And I have mixed experiences with working with headhunters. I would recommend you do a lot of the recruiting in-house. That allows you to find the people that are a good fit for the company. And I think from a candidate's perspective, having somebody who's actually part of the company rather than a third party do this recruiting is a much better experience. Or at least, if it's not a great experience, then the candidate knows early on that this is not a fit for them, which is also good. You're probably not going to be building an organization that everybody out there likes and feels at home with. So the sooner you're able to figure out whether or not you have a match, the better, and you may avoid a lot of unpleasant surprises later on if you get this right. So head of people definitely, and building up a people organization is something I would recommend you to focus on early on, and that will then help you get all the other positions right. So this is the reason why I would say it comes first, because with a great head of people, you can then find other individual contributors and other leaders for the company that you need as you keep growing. And after you're maybe a couple of dozen people, you will need to set up some kind of an organizational structure and create basically an org chart that talks about how your company is organized. At that stage, you see people also shifting from these very early stage, generalists into more specialized people and specialized roles, and you will see that not everybody enjoys that kind of a change. This is the responsibility of you as a founder to then deal with and understand. Don't surprise people with these changes, but at the same time, make sure that they understand that these changes are happening. You are not you cannot have the organization just get stuck at one specific stage because you have people on the team that would prefer things not to change. A startup like this is moving all the time. It'll either go, upwards or downwards or sideways, but it's not going to stay put at the stage where it is today at. So I would expect that most people would rather grow the company than run it to the ground. So now you have to have all the founders, all the leaders of the company really spending a huge amount of their waking hours working on hiring the new talent, onboarding the new talent, and very importantly, getting the rest of the organization to understand the change and accept the new people that you're bringing in to the company. You don't want to fragment the culture either. And these are things that I wish I had really understood much better when I started building Aiven, and we wouldn't have had to learn the hard way over the years. So really a recap, people, products, profits in this order. This is the way I would say you want to build an organization, and this is the way you want to look at the world. So it all starts with the people. And by the way, this people, products, profits quip is something I picked up from The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz, a book about building startups that I would recommend all founders to read. There's a lot of interesting things there. You don't have to agree with everything, but there's a lot of things that I would say are highly relevant for founders. But really, going back to this, everything starts with the people, and it's not really just about how many people you have and are you able to hire them, but how do you work together? How do you build your culture? And how does all of this come together? It's very hard to overinvest in this aspect. At least we haven't figured out how to do that yet, and we think there's so much more that we could be doing with the people function. The next one, products. Again, it's not just about bringing in more engineers to write more code. You probably need that, but you also need to be thinking about what the product is for, what does it do, why does it exist, what will it do next. So think about product managers, product marketers. Those are the folks that you need to also add, in addition to the engineers that are building the product. And this is another position that, or a set of positions that I think we learned about a little bit later than I would have hoped for, but now that's in a nice, quite nice shape at Aiven. And after that, after people, after products, you get to the profits bit. And here you can hire marketers to spread the word and reps to close the deals, and all of this is so much easier when you understand the culture you have. You can align all the new hires with the culture, and they actually understand the products that you're building and why those products exist. If you're trying to take shortcuts here, well, my experience is that it doesn't really work.